on his ranch by someone who just came across the border and killed him.
But that's the exception to the rule, though, Assemblywoman.
I'm not sure that
not all
Arizonans would agree that
not
that's
all
an
of the illegal
exception
immigrants
to the
are
rule.
coming in and shooting ranchers. Yes, there was that horrible, horrible case down there. But you're saying that Barack Obama, when Felipe Calderon was going to come here, should have said, no, you can't come into my country?
Not and criticize Arizona and take on for himself a role that really that's very overstepping, I think.
So if you're going to come to Sharron Angle's America and you're a foreign leader, you can't say anything bad about America while you're here? Is that correct?
Well, I think that we need to be very cordial to one another, and if they want to be our allies, they should be cordial to us. They shouldn't be critical of our states and the laws that our states make. We have a 10th Amendment in our Constitution that guarantees the right for states to make those kinds of decisions, protect their citizens, and that's truly what Arizona has done. They're securing their borders, enforcing their laws, protecting their citizens, have a great sheriff like Joe Arpaio. This is what the 10th Amendment is all about. And for a foreign leader to come and really criticize our Constitution is at least rude.
So you would suggest that if the President of the United States went to a foreign country, he shouldn't say anything bad about that country either?
I don't think that that's something that we should be doing. I think that our founding fathers said that we should have a cordial relationship with everyone in the world, but we should avoid entangling relationships. And so that's, I think...
Dissent is good, is it not? We're having dissent right here, are we not? Why shouldn't Felipe Calderon come here and he should just not say anything about that Arizona law? He should just keep his mouth shut?
It's really none of his business. This is our business. We are a sovereign nation, and it's Arizona's business when they take their 10th Amendment rights. It's American to have those kinds of rights, and they've secured them for their citizens.
Sue Loudon, who's essentially been the front runner for a long time, now has come back down to earth, or at least appears to be, and suddenly she's worried about you. You know how I know she's worried about you, Assemblywoman Angle? I'm going to show you right now. Take a look at this.
Don't read my lips, read my record.
Sharron Angle's record? As state legislator, Sharron Angle voted to raise her pay twice.
Don't read my lips, read my record.
Sharron Angle pushed a bill favored by the Church of Scientology, using tax dollars to give massages to prisoners.
Don't read my lips, read my record.
Sharron Angle. When you read her record, you know she's wrong for Nevada.
I'm Sue Loudon, and I approve this message.
All right, I want to address both of the claims in there, but first let's talk about the pay raises. I think only one of those is actually fair, because the other would have been something that was voted on that never would have affected you. But you originally claimed you didn't vote for the first one, but then you actually said you acknowledged that you actually did. And here's what your campaign spokesman Jerry Stacy said about the 2001 bill. He said it was convoluted, containing numerous pay provisions for many different elected officials. The small section on legislative pay just got by her. So you only read some bills carefully and that just slipped right by you?
No, I think that probably Jerry misspoke. I've always said that I've voted over 100 times against tax and fee increases, poor public policy, and unconstitutional laws. And this, I believe, is good public policy when we are looking at what legislators really make. $7,800
it's nothing,
for 4
so stand
months,
by it.
$8.12.
It's a joke. So that was vote. You'll stand by that
That's right.
vote.
I'll stand by that vote. You know, if we don't want self-serving millionaires and double-dipping bureaucrats in our legislature, if that's the only people that can afford to be there, if we want true citizen legislators, then we have to compensate them.
Let's go beyond that vote, though.
Okay.
You have voted a lot against taxes. I've been there most of the sessions. You were there, right? I watched. But you know what you've also done? You've done what a lot of Republicans have done. You voted for a lot of appropriations bills after you voted against the taxes. That is totally hypocritical. I found dozens of appropriations bills, including things for like class size reduction, which I thought Republicans hated. And so how do you vote against taxes and then vote for the appropriations? That's just wrong, isn't it?
Well, we don't have a taxpayer bill of rights, which I have put forward that bill a couple of times, and what that would do was limit the spending to population plus inflation growth and then refund the money that was left over to the citizens.
But that doesn't explain what you just did.
Yes, it does, because we have a rainy day fund that you can put some of that money in, but when you pass the largest tax increase in the history of the state, you can refund $300 a person back, and then you have this big pot of money. You have to spend it. It is just one of those things.
So it's okay to vote against the way to pay for
things. You
things.
have a balanced budget. You have to spend
But you vote
the money.
against the money to pay for these things, then vote for the things that need to be paid for. You get to have it both ways. What happened to the pure Sharron angle? What happened?
Well, what you do is you vote against having the money come in the first place, so that you have to spend it. Our laws are not set up to do anything but spend that money, and so if it's there, that's what has to happen.
So you spend it.
That's what
You
you
also,
have
by
to
the
do.
way, I probably shouldn't
There's
say
no refund mechanism. We tried to do
I shouldn't say this in Reno because I want you to be able to defend that other part of that ad. But you also voted for that rental car tax in 2003 that funded that baseball stadium
That's
up here.
right.
That's a tax increase.
That's right. I didn't say I've never voted
Okay,
against
all
them.
right.
You know, I said I voted over 100 times against them. And I think that people like to set me up to say that I'm the party of no. I vote yes on things.
All right,
But the rental car tax, if you look at the record, you'll see that I was a big holdout on that tax because I wanted to make sure that they didn't tax anybody but tourists coming in. I wanted to make sure that we got a AAA team here, not something less than AAA that was promised. And I wanted to make sure that we had the naming rights to that team. And there were a lot of other provisions that I went forward. And I was the only legislator that said, come on, we need to have a few boundaries on this tax if we're going to institute it. And by the way, everyone in the Washoe County delegation voted for that as well.
So that was no 41 to Angle vote.
No, it wasn't.
No, real quickly, because I'm not going to be able to play everything I wanted to, but you did defend that program that Sue Loudon talks about, the Second Chance program, and we brought this up in the program. I can't play it because we don't have time, but you said that you and Jackie Crawford, who was the prison director at the time, went down. This is a controversial. It's tied to the Scientologists, and you said at the end that it's being used successfully in New Mexico. That's what you said on the program. I don't have time to play it, but the program was actually discontinued in Mexico. We checked in 2008.
Right. I didn't realize that they had done that. I knew that it was very successful in 2007, and I found out that the person that was running it had a stroke and a heart attack and had to discontinue it.
So it's a very controversial program, though. You know, I mean,
it's
this guy Russell Suggs, who you talked about, and who is tied to Scientology. Here's what you told. He was the guy who was the sponsor of this whole thing. He's approached not only by nonprofits but politicians as well, and he doesn't like his name spread around, but he would let me go if it would help me and the Second Chance program. Why were you so adamant about this program, which was then used in New York, very controversial there for post 9/11 stress for firefighters? And they were then found by some to have overstated the success rate in New Mexico. I believe 20% or so of the ones who were let out after that were recidivists. Why were you so entranced by this program, Assemblyman?
Well, in 2003, when Jackie and I went to look at it and actually did a fact-finding trip for legislators, what we were doing was trying to save money for the state. Remember, we were in that horrible fight over tax increases. We wanted to save some money. That's my job. I put in a bill draft request in case those legislators wanted to go forward with something after we found the
This
fact.
is saunas and massages for prisoners. It doesn't sound like a conservative.
Well,
You're the conservative?
I explained.
You said the karate chops, not massages.
Well,
they're also saunas. The firefighters in New York got this just for the saunas, some of them said. They just wanted saunas.
If you had seen these rooms with 50 sweaty guys in them, I doubt that you would have enjoyed that sauna. But what it really does was, what it really did was we were trying to save money. Jackie and I came back. Barbara Buckley demonized the program. We let it go. And I've not followed it since, really. I just knew that they'd had some success.
We're out of time. I really appreciate your willingness always to come on the program. Wish you the best of luck on June 8th. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much, John.